Hey guys, this is Julie. I want to take a look at some price action from Friday on the E-mini S&P 500. This is the quarterly contract, and I'm showing you the JP Morgan color. As you can see, the color call wall is at 38.35, and there's 38.35. Put that back up, and 33.90 is their put wall, and that's just below my PT1. So their call wall was just above the PT1 and the put wall is just below it. So I've got my distribution right in between their put and call wall, which is pretty cool. So it looks like they're trying to get price to the middle of that range pretty soon. We'll see if that happens. And their downside number is at 2860. I guess they'll be buying puts below 3900, so sort of like delta neutral between these two areas for them. Anything, they'll straddle this, anything below 3390, they'll try to trade it down to 3835. And anything above 3835, they will buy calls. So a straddle of those two levels, and going to your for your upper level for JATS, I would be first looking at that 4061.50 if it did break higher. And again, I don't think this lower 2860 will ever break. I can't imagine them doing that for Christmas, but you never know. Probably, might be a pretty good bet to see it somewhere down there closer to Christmas than up here, but we'll see the way things have been going. We went to the 4-week PT2 of the 4-week Friday. 36.32.50 was the 4-week PT2 of the open, and the low of the bar 36.32.50. So it was right there, 36.32.50 4-week low. Right there. I'm showing it to you for the first time. Pretty cool. And that is just statistics. All right, here's your weekly, and you can see that price did break the weekly ones, and so a lot of people thought that they would be buying that. Did not happen. Again, the middle of the distribution is going to be around 3600, so we can come into the quick strike and go to the 3600 level and see that there's a gigantic put wall here. I mean, there's 10,000 sitting here in this contract, 1,019 here, 6,350 puts here. So when you add this up, that's a gigantic, gigantic put wall. And so that is going to be like a big magnet, right? And that takes us right in the middle of that distribution. So trade to the light. Okay, here is the daily for the price action Friday. Went all the way to the bottom and then came back in. Amazing how they can get it right back in, tucked it in for the close. They kept their spread going for the daily spread. So that worked out pretty good. And the Globex range, you can see that we got below. First, bounced right there on the daily. I have the daily boundary on the Globex distribution. So it bounced right on my daily 3. People were buying that hard, but you know, they're buying puts, so that wasn't going to happen. That we didn't get the reverse to the mean. But going below the distribution worked out pretty good to return it back inside. My hat's off to everyone who did that. So let me just take a look at this. Um, so usually the Globex and the daily are really good to use this for distribution to day trade. If it does pop out, it's usually going to that higher time frame on the weekly or monthly or quarterly even, depending upon where you are. There's also another distribution that I like to day trade with, and that is the 1 hour IB. And I've got this set up to show you a couple of things, including with the price oscillator. So the JATS price oscillator is a bonus for your PT indicator that you've got. And how I use this is like a MACD, but I change it from a fast period of 1, a slow period of 200, and a smooth of 100. And that gives me a price oscillator between the 0 and out to 200 in a value that correlates from going from 1 to 200 on the EMA. And that price can be set to anything that you want it to be to get a threshold value. So, for instance, our current distance between the 1 hour IB 1A open and 1 hour IB 1B close was 1750 thereabouts, which is about 60% of the 1 hour IB range. In fact, yeah, 60% of that range. So with that knowledge that it's 1750 that you're looking for a range to trade, how do you do that, right? How do you capture that in Blackbird? Well, you can set up your threshold level to be that oscillator 1750. So you can put a threshold solver and put the JATS price oscillator in it, change it to 1 201 to mimic that distance, change it to absolute value. The JATS oscillator price oscillator gives you the absolute value as a premium, and so you can capture when price is long or short above that value, and put that on your bars, one going short and one going long. So that'll give you a permissive that when the range breaks at 1750, you can, of course, you want to be selling because you're breaking down below the ones. Um, Selling in that range when the bar, ideally rolls over, or, you know, um, go from that top of the range, the high, to that 1750, and there's your target. And to do that, you can set up Blackbird. The easiest way to do it is, I'll give you this template, set them up as two different entries, long and short. You can have a regular market entry here, just place immediately because you're going outside your range, and just type in 70 ticks because you know that range is 70 ticks. Or you can require um, it to, demonstrate that the last price was outside, above, or below the JATS PT2, the JATS indicator PT2 with your 830 to 930 1 hour IB range, zero point 0.6 of that, above or below that, long, below, above, short, and just make sure that you're within that percentage, so you can set it up either with the price oscillator or the JATS PT2 or both. And so that I'm just giving you examples of how to do that in Blackbird. And when you turn your dynamic planning on, hang on 1 second. You can see that price goes right to the end of our range box from that close. So from this bar close goes right to the end of the range box for short, or above it for long. So I'll get you this template so that you can start learning how to trade in and out of ranges. And really, you what I want to impress upon you is you don't have to buy a rote mechanical system from anybody. You have the capacity now to understand how to grab a percentage of a range. Maybe you can afford more than the 1 hour initial IB. Maybe you're a big time hedge fund and you're trading a RTH session range or a Globex range. You can do the same thing. You can expand these ranges out to take the larger, period or trade. If you have a very bullish or bearish bias and trade to the end, trade to the end of your football field, right? Go to the 1, 2, 3 on the higher time frame levels. Um, us day traders like our targets closer so that we hit them, like hit the side of a barn. All right, guys, let me know if you have any questions. We can go through this on Wednesday, and I'll pop the templates in the training room. Talk to you later. Bye.